Exclusive information for you. Are ENDF soldiers defecting and joining Tigray Defense Force? Dozens defected in the last few days. Where did it happen? Why did they defect? Is it the same thing which we saw before the start of November 2020 war when Tigrinya-speaking ENDF members defected and joined Tigray Defense Force? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Two news stories. First one is about defection by ENDF soldiers. They are joining TDF. Secondly, Shimalis Abdisa, Oromia regional president, has passed some controversial remarks. Let's have a look at this news story first about Shimalis Abdisa, Oromia regional president, and then a little later, main news story. Shimalis has passed some controversial remarks about private property rights in Ethiopia, in Oromia. Basically, he's Oromia president. Government acquires land for public projects. It happens. Like in Addis Ababa, corridors are being built. In Oromia, too, land is acquired for public projects. Shimalis has said that no compensation was paid in the past too. And no compensation will be paid in future as well. I mean, these remarks don't make sense. I mean, it means anyone's property can be confiscated by the government and no compensation will be paid. He wasn't talking about state land. I mean, state land cannot be occupied by anyone. If anyone occupies state land, it is authorized to take back the land without giving compensation. He talked about people's own properties, that even those can be seized by the government if government needs them for public use, and government is not bound to pay compensation. I don't think it's allowed in any civilized society, any country. I don't think Ethiopian constitution would allow such a decision if it is made by Shimalis. What Shimalis said is his personal opinion. I don't think it's in conformity with Ethiopian constitution. It means that wherever anti-government people are in majority, anti-government groups are in majority, their government can launch projects and their government can confiscate their entire properties. They'll have no remedy. So, it's illegal. It's unconstitutional. It just shows that the Prosperity Party leaders are not accountable. When you have no independent judiciary, this is what happens. I've been saying that Ethiopia needs a strong judiciary, because when governments make excesses, then people go to judiciary for relief. And judiciary then calls the government people and tells them to abide by laws, to abide by constitution. But in the case of Ethiopia, judiciary is under the thumb of the government. And by the way, political parties, if you look at their manifestos, opposition parties, people like Jawar, others, I did not hear from them about independence of judiciary. They want to come into power. They want to replace this government, but they have no plan to make institutions independent in Ethiopia. Without that, there'll be no democracy in Ethiopia. So I think all political parties should make it a part of their manifesto that if they come into power, they will make judiciary independent and judiciary won't be under government control. Now, there's many stories about defection of ENDF members. We know that before the start of November 2020 war, hundreds, rather thousands of Tigrinya-speaking ENDF members defected and they joined TDF. Several hundreds were uh, suspended by the government. They were put in prisons, and for 2 years, these people suffered. Though they did not join TDF, but they suffered. And after Pretoria, they were released. So they suffered because their fellow Tigrayans defected. Now, I have received a piece of information from a border area where ENDF members have defected. It happened around 10 days ago, around, I would say. ENDF members, over a dozen reportedly, they defected. They were placed around Matimma. They were deployed around Matimma. Matimma is on Ethiopia-Sudan border. Fano groups are also operating there. Himad fighters are also operating around Matimma. Matimma, there is a border crossing too in Matimma between Ethiopia and Sudan. The ENDF members were deployed there and reportedly they defected and entered Sudan. They joined Tigray fighters there. Tigray's Army 70, I think, is being organized on Sudanese soil. It's not a secret now because videos, pictures, fresh videos, pictures are in circulation showing the activities of TDF's Army 70 on Sudanese soil. The Army 70 has the backing of a Sudanese general, Al-Burhan's government. And in a video yesterday, I told you about the concerns shared by the Ethiopian government through Ridwan and Getachew with Al-Burhan about the activities of Ethiopian opposition armed groups on Sudanese soil. But Burhan's response was not very positive. Burhan is an ally of Isas Afwerki, Eritrean president. So, news confirmed. This is what I have confirmed through sources reliable. People would still question, what can I do? I saw very interesting, I read a very interesting comment made by Elijah in comment section where a viewer questioned my reports and he criticized me a lot. And Elijah said, exercise Article 39, leave the channel. So those who disagree, they can exercise Article 39. But to the best of my capabilities, I have confirmed this information. And gradually you'll see confirmation by the sources too. Because generally I report way before others. I reported about differences between Alim and Munjarino. Confirmed now. I reported about Getachew, Ridwan meeting with Al-Burhan about armed groups, Ethiopian armed groups and Sudan, confirmed. There are lots of other reports too. I reported about Humera, what is happening there, now confirmed videos in circulation. So you'll see that a confirmation of this, you'll see confirmation of it in coming days, but other sources will report about it. What will be the impact of it? Does it mean that war is approaching? That is why Tigrinya speaking ENDF members are defective. I don't know if war is approaching or not, but it's not a good sign because the remaining ENDF, Tigrinya speaking ENDF members will be mistrusted. ENDF generals, government people will not appoint them in key positions, will not trust them because anytime they could defect to, like their fellow comrades defected. So these people who defected, they created problems for the remaining Tigrinya speaking ENDF members. Why did they choose Sudanese border to defect. Uh, Maybe it was easy for them to defect and enter the neighboring country where they are now part of Army 70 in Sudan. It was difficult for them to defect and come to Tigray all the way from their place of deployment. It was easy for them to just defect into a neighboring country where their comrades were already waiting for them. Thanks for watching.